Tell them that the punch is ripped.
Oh. Hey, man.
One. The hunt is over. Recondo. What's going on, everybody? Down South 77 here again, and this is 3-Star Draw. It's 6-star draw, but you get the point. This is an adult collector channel where we talk about G.I. Joe, primarily G.I. Joe Classified, and now a lot of times we're talking about some other toys from some other lines that I like to pick up and collect and show you guys along the way. Today's video's been, I don't know, I was going to say a long time coming, but I guess it's probably been 5 or 6 weeks coming now. Finally got my hands on Retro Recondo. Got him sitting right here. Check him out in the package, and I even left the GameStop sticker on him because I don't like going to GameStop, really. I don't have as much time for video games as I used to. Something I never thought I would hear myself say, but after I quit Call of Duty cold turkey, I haven't really gone back to much yet. So I don't go in GameStop a whole lot, although GameStop seems to be turning into a place to find some hard to find toys. I did a toy hunt yesterday that was obviously successful because I found the main thing I was looking for, other than green lions or any lions at Target. Anyway, so I went in GameStop. They had him. They had the Marvel Knights Daredevil. They had the Marvel Knights Blade that I was this close to buying. I've never actually seen the thing in person, but it does look pretty good, and I know a lot of people can't find it. I've been actually looking for it, but that's the only place I've ever seen it. Anyway, they had 2 Scarlets and 2 Recondos. They had no Dukes, which the times that I've found these new retro cards anywhere, I've found Duke and Scarlet, but no Recondo. And I had some very good people that actually got in touch with me that actually did find Recondo and offered to pick him up for me. And I was like, "Nah, man, I want to find him in the wild. If I can't find him in the wild, I'll holler at one of y'all." But Pop Blender, my cousin, and Woody Triple Deuce, the figure addict, and Jay Astro all had sent me messages that, "Hey, man, he's here if you want me to pick him up." And I was like, "Nah, I'm gonna slay this dragon myself. If not, I'll call in reinforcements." So I was able to get that dragon slayed. We're going to go ahead and get him out. I wasn't even going to order this figure. That's why I don't have him. But this is the version of Recondo that we need, the one we should have got first. And even though I like Recondo, I don't love him. He's a good character. I always liked him. But for me, honestly, the Tiger Force Recondo looks pretty good. And I was going to pass on this one, but everybody just talks about how this figure pops and how good it looks. And I mean, come on, it's the regular one versus the Tiger Force one. Of course, I'm going to wind up with it. So we're going to go ahead and check out Recondo. Recondo, as the toy enhancer says in our Blues Brothers impressions. Recondo. All right, there he is. There's Recondo. Thought we'd take a look at him before I turn on all the glary lights there. So I love the card art on these figures. It's very nice looking art. It's so very nice. But more than that, that's what I like. Look, you could frisbee with this card. I love these things. Left the GameStop sticker on there. Normally I would take that off, but this bubble will be going in the trash, and I'll keep the card. So just check him out there. Let's look at the back. If you have not seen the back, cross sell with the 3 new retro figures on it. All of this. And read. Of course, we get his little bit blurb about him is all we get. Daniel M. LeClaire and Role Dischungilstodot Primaris Spezialgebiet Infantry Secundaries, Spezel Gibbet, Spionage, Gebu Stort, Wheaton, Wisconsin. And there's where it talks about him. So I'm going to go ahead and take a minute and get Recondo open and we'll take a look at him. Yeah, I'm a bit like Ron Burgundy. If it's on the teleprompter, I'm going to read it. Okay, time to mute this so you guys don't have to listen. Alright, don't like having to mute for prolonged periods of time because if you're anything like me, you listen to more of these reviews than you actually watch. So I also had to make sure that I turn the volume back on where it will record because I've been having a lot of trouble with that lately. So out of the packaging here, take a look at Mr. Recondo, Mr. LeClaire. So I do want to have this figure on my shelf. I made kind of a joke about ordering this Recondo. It's because I didn't pre-order him, and it's because I have Tiger Force Recondo, who doesn't at this point. Some of you guys probably have a dozen of him thanks to the discounters. But I have trouble with that Recondo standing with the backpack on. It makes him really unstable. And as we know, they don't really go back and fix flaws with the figure design when they do these repaints. And his hips, I have a little bit of trouble with that Recondo's hips. And even though this is the superior version of Recondo, I was going to skip this figure, but everybody started getting it and started talking about how nice it was, how smooth of a figure that it is, and of course, you know, his classic look. So we got our standard classified articulation, of course. All of his joints seem to be pretty nice, and they're smooth, but they're tight as they should be. And get a look at his face there. Looks pretty good. Eyes look centered. I don't see any sloppy paint. What is that up there? Yeah, we'll just say that's a mole. All right, no sloppy paint, but they gave him a mole. Of course, mustache. A mustache, you a question? I think he looks pretty good. A lot of people think that this figure looks like Kurt Russell, and they're not wrong, are they? You tell him I'm coming. Hell's coming with me here. Hell's coming with me. I do like this. This is the way Recondo should look. This is his classic outfit. His hat don't fit on there very well. I think you could probably heat that up, get that on there a little better. I don't like how loose that fits, but I always like to wear my hats tilted a little bit to the left, but if you do that with him, it kind of looks like his head's sinking. I've seen other people talk about this. I think Krusty Old Crow talked about this with his. I think it was Crow that did. Not pleased with that, but that's overcomable. Does come with this standard little tiny little pistol. It is all repaint accessories. I would think that a jungle guy would have a little bit bigger sidearm. It does. It looks okay. Like if you're carrying a subcompact, that's about what they look like. They're short. They're sweet. It just seems like with where he's at and what his specialty is, he would carry a little bit larger weapon. But I do like the way that this pistol fits in there. I'm tired of this pistol, but it does look good in his hand, and it does, fits in the holster nice. I don't know. I always thought he probably would have needed a little bit bigger pistol. Let's go with his weapon here. It does have the wrap on it, as we've seen, as does his Tiger Force version. It is slightly bent, but you saw me take it out of the package. I was also in a hurry, but, this packaging, it's going to do what it do. I'm not crazy with the way that this fits in here. I wish the stock was a little longer, but they actually did do something right with these figures, with these retros, actually giving them their retro accessories, as we've seen, is something that they don't seem to want to continue in the retro line. I think they stopped with this wave. I do like this jungle knife, and I cannot remember exactly what it is called because it escapes me right now. I know, but I cannot think of it. Anyway, we've seen it. I do like it. A nice and shiny blade there. Looks really good. It's got the green handle that matches everything else. This is a very cool knife. Crow talked about this knife. You just gonna cut through people with it, and also vegetation. And knife goes in just like that. Fits in there nicely. Got a little open spot right there to accommodate for the blade being so wide going in. And then we have his backpack, which is, as far as I know, a perfect recreation of the Ara backpack. I love what they did with the paint here, with making his bedroll a completely different color and actually making the straps green to match this, so you know that these straps are part of this backpack. See, like maybe a continuation there. It goes up to hold his bedroll on. A little bit of buckle. It would have been nice if the buckles were painted, but hey, I mean, come on. We're lucky that we got the straps a different color. We're lucky we got 2 paint apps on the backpack, period. So some of my issue with Recondo, with the Tiger Force, was once you gear him up, he's a little top heavy, and he was kind of hard to pose. I've seen people have a whole lot more success with this one than with the Tiger Force. I'm just kind of doing crazy stuff with him. I'm not even really trying. I'm just trying to work the figure around and see how he stands up. So I've got the Tiger Force one over here, and as I seem to have trouble getting him to stand up. But I know it can be done. I've watched people pose him and get him in a lot better, easier poses than I've been able to with the Tiger Force. But this one, the joints on this one seem to move a lot freer than the Tiger Force one did. You can get him into a pretty decent shooting pose with this rifle. You can, whether or not I can right here for the purposes of the video. So you get him where he's carrying it, he's holding the wrap there. The backpack does not seem to be any better, maybe slightly better than the Tiger Force version as far as fitting in there. I don't know. He's not really a whole lot better, I don't think, than the Tiger Force version. But he is classic color Recondo. And why am I getting so much resistance from these ankles? That's usually where you want to start with these guys, is start with the ankles and work upward on your posing. So there, finally got him. I think that's probably pretty good. Now I've got my Tiger Force one over here. And you see how he's kind of cockeyed there, like he's dipped down. I have a lot of balance issues with this figure, but this hip on this one just always seemed a little wonky, and there's a big old gap there on this one, on mine anyway, on his leg, and that's on the thigh joint on the swivel. That's attributing to it too. And I just never was overly pleased with this figure, and that's why I was not in any hurry to get this figure. The hips do seem to stay up better than they do on this one, and I don't have that weird cut there. I think once I move this one around and free him up a little bit, kind of get him where I want him, I think he will be fine. But this backpack, man, I don't have a lot of backpacks on my figures. Torso's torso's a little bit floppy on him. I don't have that with this one. That's weird. They traded one problem for another one. So I probably won't put the backpack on this dude when I put him on the shelf, and I might not put the hat on him either. The hat on this one stays on the Tiger Force one. It stays on a lot better. I think if I heat it though, I think you can probably heat it and stretch it down on there a little bit better. But I'm just having all kind of problems with him. So I'm not crazy about that. That is looser than my Firefly. I know a lot of people had trouble with the V2 Firefly with the torso ratchet. Mine is not bad. This Recondo, after I move him around a little bit and broke that free, this is probably the worst figure as far as that goes for me than any of them. Look at that. That's pretty bad. So that's going to be about all of my review on regular Recondo there. Look how much better that hat fits on there. And I guess it's been, what, couple years. Variances in the plastic. They've probably switched factories 2 or 3 times. Maybe the humidity's different. I don't know. I don't know what goes into the chemical makeup of the plastic on these guys, but I do know they can't keep it consistent. So what do you think? Did you guys pick up Recondo? I bet you probably did. Am I glad I picked him up? Well, I'm glad to have classic color Recondo. He is going to go up on my shelf. Tiger Force Recondo is actually been banished to my bottom shelf with the rest of Tiger Force, and that is also where I keep figures that I have open versions of the same figure. I'll put them on the bottom because I still want to display them, but they're not in the main display. Well, that's where all the Tiger Force is because I've got better versions of all of those figures anyway. I put Recondo down there with them to just to match, to keep the shelf, that part of the shelf theme consistent with all the Tiger Force. So now I can actually put this Recondo on the shelf where he belongs with the other Joes. I am just going to have to make sure I get him where that backpack and that weak torso does not cause him to tip over. I got a couple figures I have to put toward the back and pose them so that if they go, they don't take anybody else with them. I don't know, man. It's the lesser of two evils. It's the better of two evils, I guess. And it's gonna be this one just because at least when he stands, he's not leaning like he's had one too many whatever that weird liquor they make where they distill the venom from the cobra with the snake still in the jar. That's what he looks like he's been on. See, Shark Eyes done gave him some stuff, man. Um anyway, all right. That's enough. Retro Card Recondo is going to get a 3.25 yeehaws. It would be a 3 if he wasn't wearing the classic Recondo gear. If it was another of this figure with these issues, he'd have been a 3 all day long. And a 3 is anything below a 3 is like ask for it for a gift, and anything below 2.5 is target practice. There's Retro Recondo, you guys. I appreciate you sticking in for this sloppy review. Sticking in the sloppy, are we? Hit that like, that subscribe if you can want to. Hit that share button, all that good stuff if you like this kind of stuff I'm doing for you. And I will see you guys next time on 1, 2, 3 star draw. Peace.